I don't have a problem. You have a problem. There are 102 books behind me. We're gonna take you through a little tour of my TBR, all the books that I physically own and still have to read. Yay. We're gonna go fast. This is gonna be rapid fire because I don't think you want to spend 30 plus minutes to listen to me speak for 2 minutes about every book that I haven't even read. Okay, rapid fire. Let's go. I did my best to organize these, okay? I did my best to put them in piles. I kind of gave up. It was using too much brain power and I was getting a little stressed out. So they're loosely organized. Let's go. Okay, we're going to start in the little mystery thriller pile. Once There Were Wolves, Charlotte McConaughey? I think she has a really popular book that's out now. I'm pretty sure this is that author. I've wanted to read this for a long time. I picked it up at a Half Price Books. It sounds interesting. This one's about a lady who goes to the Scottish Highlands to work with wolves. And then there's some kind of mystery. Yeah, there's some kind of mystery. This lady and the wolves, Scottish Highlands. This sounds really interesting. I'm hoping to get to it this year. We'll see. Okay, I've got The Hunter by Tana French. I don't know what this one's about, but I've heard a lot about this author and that she writes really good mysteries, and that this one is set in Ireland, some detective, English millionaire, protection, revenge, scheme, gold. Interesting. I'll get to it sometime. Okay, this is The Woman in White, Wilkie Collins. I think this is like a prototype mystery. It's like one of the first mysteries. It's a decent size, but it sounds interesting. Agatha Christie, Death on the Nile. This is a Hercule Poirot book, mystery, classic mystery, Agatha Christie. In a similar vein, I've got this collection that has Murder on the Orient Express, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, and Curtin, Poirot's Last Case, all in here. Very fun. Okay, this is A Beautiful Blue Death by Charles Finch. This is the first or second in the Charles Leno series. He's like a Victorian detective, similar to like the Agatha Christie vein, classic detective novel in the Victorian era. Okay, I've got 5 Mary Higgins Clark books. These are all simple mysteries, straight to the point. A 90s, 80s theme, just like a classic mass market crime novel. Enjoyable, fun. Okay, I have The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. I think this one, I got like a Goodreads giveaway. Yeah, it says on sale January 2024. It's only 2 years later. That's fine. I don't know what this is about. Probably an heiress. Let's go into historical fiction. I have books 2 and 3 of the Century series by Ken Follett. I think this follows a bunch of families across the world in a century. That's all I know. They're also gigantic and very heavy. I don't have the first one, though. I'm working on that. I've got a few series that I don't have everything to that I'm just like trying to build on. Okay, I have The Rising Tide by Jeff Shera. He did or finished like the Gods in General series, which is the American Civil War, like historical fiction. Don't know exactly. It's a World War II novel, but instead of having a mysterious woman with her back to the cover, I think it's about the actual like fighting on the fronts, like military clashes. So interesting. I think this is also a series. This is the only one I have though, so I'm gonna have to get the others. Or rent them from my local library, which seems like a nice option considering my circumstances. Okay, Dark Tides, Philippa Gregory. This is another Goodreads giveaway thing I won in 2020. It's only 6 years later. It's fine. I do not know what this is about. Set in 1670. Newly restored King Charles II. Venice, England. American. Okay, I don't know. We'll figure that out later. I think that's also a series. I have a lot of series that I only have like 1 or 2 books from. Okay, Lincoln and the Bardo, George Saunders. I talked about this in a recent book haul. Good. Want to reread it. I have the Hilary Mantel Wolf Hall series, which is Thomas Cromwell, Henry VIII. I want to get into these. I want to read these this year. I've heard that they're really good. They're supposed to be really solid. It's not that much. I'm excited to get into these. I have all 3. It's a trilogy. This is actually a complete set. I have Alison Weir, The Wars of the Roses, historical fiction about the Wars of the Roses, Lancaster, New York. I think I also talked about this in a little book haul video. This sounds interesting. She has a lot of good historical fiction, I think. I say that. I've never read anything from her, but I hear people talk about her, and she writes nonfiction too. Beach Music, Pat Conroy. Search for one haunting secret in his family's past, and he goes to Rome and Vietnam. Interesting. A journey, I'm suspecting. I've loved Pat Conroy before. I want to get to it. Sometime, I'll get to it. I got this book from my elderly friend. He's in his 90s. He gives me all my Pat Conroy books. He's my supplier. My dealer, some would say. We have the Miscellaneous stack. A little selection of Louis L'Amour books. I have 3 of the Sackett books, the little Sackett trilogy where they start off in England and they come to America. And then I have The Haunted Mesa, which is more of a sci-fi thing. I read this in 7th grade and have been trying to track it down for a long time, so we'll see what's going on there. Okay, I have Em and Christine's second book, A Haunted Road Atlas, Next Stop. This is just a bunch of true crime and haunted locations, and it's just a lot of information. They have fun little graphics, and they have a great podcast I enjoy. See, it's fun. This is the literary fiction, contemporary, also kind of a miscellaneous section. We have Wit's End, Karen Joy Fowler. I don't really know what this one is about, and I read the back and I'm still kind of confused. But I think there's like a mystery. This lady's an author and she has to solve a mystery, and there's a bunch of quirky characters. I'm excited. I have Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Simple. I listened to this one as an audiobook sometime. I think I was in college. And I remember thinking that it was fun and enjoyable. And I think it's like, well, is it like an epistolary novel? Or it's kind of like a funny format or an interesting format. I really enjoyed this. I want to reread it. Next we have A Little Life. You all know A Little Life. I don't need to explain it. I would like to get to it and see what all the conversation is about and formulate my own opinion. This one, I will definitely read this one this year. It's on my list. A Little Life. I'm also a little scared of it. It's a little frightening, but it'll be fine. The Names. This one also got a lot of hype. Maybe not hype, but it was just talked a lot about. It has like 3 different alternative stories following, like, depending on what this lady names her son. And then there's his like life goes in different places depending on what she names him. And I've seen some conflicting opinions. So we'll see. It's also the last Book of the Month book I ever got. R.I.P. Book of the Month. The Goldfinch. Donna Tartt. This is also one I've already read, but I listened to it on audio, and I didn't have a copy of it. So I wanted a copy. Okay, this is about a 13-year-old Theo Decker. His mother is killed in an accident when he's 13, and it's kind of about his life's journey from there. And it heavily also involves a painting with a goldfinch. I remember really enjoying this one, and once again, I want to read it. I just reread The Secret History, or I've read it last year and I really liked it, so I'm hoping to reread that one soon too. It's also just nice to have a physical copy. Okay, let's go into our sci-fi section. The first 4 Red Rising books, or, the first trilogy and then the start of the second trilogy. I've read all of these. Apparently I read the whole series, or, everything that was released at the time that I read it. I don't remember any of it, really, but I really, really enjoyed it, and it seems like it's popular again now. A lot of people are talking about it, so once again, I want to read it. I want to get into it. Station 11, Emily St. John Mandel. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and I got a copy, and I want to read it again. It's really good. You should read it if you hadn't. It's about, like, a flu pandemic that ends civilization, and it's about, like, what's going on in civilization 20 years later. It's interesting. Okay, I've got Titus Groan, Mervyn Peake, a Gormenghast novel. I have no idea what's going on here. I've heard people talk about this series, and I would like to get into it. It's a little intimidating to me, but I'll pick it up at some point. Next up, I have April 1865, J. Winnick, The Month That Saved America. So I'm assuming this is about everything that happens in April 1865. Oh, hello. Do you have any thoughts? Any opinions? Wow, thank you. That was very insightful. As we get into some of these more nonfiction, we might just do some rapid fire here, because this is all going to be pretty self-explanatory. Cronkite, Douglas Brinkley. The Hero with 1,000 Faces, Joseph Campbell. This is about this is about the hero's journey, so it's kind of asserting what the hero's journey is and saying like where you can find it. Athens, City of Wisdom, A History, Bruce Clark. SPQR, A History of Ancient Rome by Mary Beard. I'm very excited to get to this one. I love Mary Beard. Lost Country Life, How English Country Folk Lived, Worked, Threshed, Thatched, Rolled Fleece, Milled Corn, Brewed Mead. Dorothy Hartley. This is like 14th century, I think. A Distant Mirror, Barbara Tuchman. This is about the 14th century. The calamitous 14th century. Our dear friend Alison Ware, Queens of the Age of Chivalry. England's Medieval Queens. This is book 3. This is also a series. I don't have the other 2. Also from Alison Weir, The 6 Wives of Henry VIII. Thomas Paine, Great Writer of the Revolution by Michael Bergen. John Quincy Adams, Militant Spirit, James Traub. Henry Clay, America's Greatest Statesman. Harlow Giles Unger. Giles. Kit Carson's autobiography. No Life for a Lady, Agnes Morley Cleveland. This is a memoir of a woman born on a New Mexico cattle ranch in 1874. Testament of Youth, Vera Brittain. This is the memoir of a woman who goes to be a nurse in World War I. Lindbergh, A. Scott Berg, Charles Lindbergh. A sus man, some would say. Suspicious. 5 Presidents. This is Clint Hill. He was a Secret Service man with Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, and Eisenhower. Theodore Roosevelt in the Golden Age of Journalism. Doris Kearns Goodwin. Love Doris Kearns Goodwin. She's great. The Lion's Pride. Theodore Roosevelt and his family in Peace and War. The Loves of Theodore Roosevelt, the women who created a president. T.R., The Last Romantic by H.W. Brands. Edith Kermit Roosevelt, Portrait of Our First Lady, and Eleanor, David Michaelis, Eleanor Roosevelt biography. The Rise and Fall of the Victorian Servant by Pamela Horn, Volume 1 of the Gulag Archipelago. I don't have the other ones, I just have this one. I'd like to get the other ones. I really want to read this one. It's also a big guy. If you don't know about the Gulag Archipelago, this was a guy who was twice decorated captain in the Soviet army, and then he was arrested for criticizing Stalin and spent time in the Gulag. And this is his memoir of the Gulags. Age of Empire, Eric Hobsbawm. I have Volume 2. I have one of these volumes. This is like a 3-volume history of the world, and this is 1875 to 1914. I can't remember what volume I have, but I really enjoyed that one. I had to read it in college, and I want to read this one. It's very interesting. A Woman of No Importance, The Untold Story of the American Spy Who Helped Win World War II. Sonia Purnell. Woman Spy. Pacific Crucible, War at Sea in the Pacific, 1941 to 1942, Ian Toll. This is this is Volume 1 of the Pacific War Trilogy. I love trilogies, and I love giant books. I love series, and I love books that are over 500 pages. Can you tell? Were you suspicious? It's also my plague and my downfall. But this sounds interesting. I want to read the other 2. Little Demon in the City of Light, Stephen Livingston, True Story of Murder, and Mesmerism in Belle Epoque, Paris. I know what some of those words mean. I picked this one up 2020, March 10th, 2020. So basically almost exactly 6 years. 6 years, 5 days in, well, that's too much math. Basically 6 years. And it's just been traveling around with me. Women, Our Story, The Smithsonian. This is a book about women. My favorite topic. This is fun because it has it's got a lot of nice graphics and pictures. I love pictures and graphics. Wives of the Signers, the women behind the Declaration of Independence. This is focused on, just like it says, wives of the signers, and goes into their biographies, which I found interesting. Undaunted Courage, Meriwether Lewis, Thomas Jefferson, and the Opening of the American West, Stephen E. Ambrose, Lewis and Clark. This looks kind of dense. I was looking at it earlier and the writing is tiny and it's like 500 pages. Covered Wagon Women, Diaries and Letters from the Western Trails, 1850. I think there are about 10 books in this series, and it all covers like different years, and it's just like primary sources, just snippets from their like diaries and things, which I always find very interesting. So I really want to try and tackle this year and get more of those after I read some of these others, of course. The Greater Journey, Americans in Paris by the King himself, David McCullough. This is just about all the Americans who go to Paris and what's going on there. No, but this sounds really interesting, and it's such a fascinating, very specific topic, but I think it'll be fun. American War Letters, just like it sounds, it's like primary sources, snippets from American War Letters. Leadership in Turbulent Times, also by Doris Kearns Goodwin. This covers FDR, Lyndon B. Johnson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, and just kind of covers their leadership styles and how they led the country. Are you tired yet? I'm tired. Okay, we have one more section. These are just classics. I think let's rapid fire through these bad boys. Dante's Inferno. The Trojan Women and Other Plays, Euripides. The Decameron, Giovanni Boccaccio. Sense and Sensibility, Jane Austen. Emma, Jane Austen. Crime and Punishment, Fyodor Dostoevsky. The Brothers Karamazov, Fyodor Dostoevsky. The Scarlet Letter, Nathaniel Hawthorne. Vanity Fair, William Makepeace Thackeray. The Complete Short Stories of Mark Twain. Little Women and Other Novels, Louisa May Alcott. And The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes and Other Stories, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. 102 books. The end. As you can see, this is why the TBR board game exists, because I need to read these. Also, I love to curse myself by not only buying a lot of books, but buying a lot of books that are 500 plus pages. So, anyway, thank you for sticking around. Hopefully this was some kind of interesting. I don't know. I always find it interesting to see what people are reading and what they have, but Who knows? Do you have any of these books? You have to have one of them. There's so many. Do you like them based on what I have shown you? Is there anything else I should be picking up? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I'm open. Also, tell me how many books are on your physical TBR. Is it as bad as mine? Hopefully not. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.